Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's done by Barflies for Barflies and all the other Bears fans out there. Well, folks, the NFL is the gift that keeps on giving. I thought I might get a little break this weekend, but they was like, let's go ahead and release this schedule. So I figured we'd talk about it. I know it's early. It's definitely early. It's May, but I mean, if Barflies want to talk Bears football, we're going to talk some Bears football. How y'all doing this morning? I'll start with Jordan, and then we'll go across the pond and let my boy C-Dub introduce himself as well.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Barflies. I am happy to come to you 7:06 a.m. West Coast, Best Coast. I see Adeptus Matthew in the chat. Welcome, Barflies. We're going to talk about the schedule today. Excited to get into it. Let's pass it over to the pond, to the London man himself.
What's going on, Chris? What's up, brother?
How you doing, mate? How you doing, Jordan? Yeah, all good, mate. Not too bad. Looking forward to the show, man. It should be interesting to see what results we're all, predicting at this early stage of the day. But yeah, always great to talk football. Best time of the week.
Yeah, I mean, if I did any show prep whatsoever, I probably would have had a spreadsheet of some sort to show all of our predictions, and then we can go back and check them later. But I mean, I just roll out of bed and hop on, so that's
Yeah. Who wants spreadsheets at a weekend anyway? Who wants spreadsheets at a weekend?
Yeah.
I see Boss Man Aldo's in the chat. Aldo, maybe you could start record keeping. Oh, Jordan has this one as a win, a loss, AC win, loss. I'm kidding. Aldo. Glad you're here.
KB is on his way, as he told me, and I was like, I mean, just hop in when you get here. I'll add you in. So he should come in a little bit later. Aldo has set me up over here with everything I need. I couldn't ask for a better producer. He's got me all set up with each game and the full calendar and all that. So we'll talk. I think we'll hop on the full calendar at first, and then we'll go through game by game.
Sure.
We shouldn't have to spend too much time on the Lions games because we both know that's wins. So we might just skip over those.
They're always given.
Good thing they're coming later in the season. Yeah, I've got to give time for Don Bear to get over here and tell us Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the full schedule. We got the spaceships on Sunday Night Football, as John Buffon likes to say, or Thursday or primetime games is what I should say. Just overall, I think it's a pretty good schedule. We're not on the road forever, or that like they did a good mix of a couple home, couple away. The bye week kind of late. That's one thing. I guess we'll get into that later, but overall, I think it's a good schedule. It's not too daunting of a task, I don't think, and we'll figure out what this new look Chicago Bears looks like, I think.
Yeah, I tend to agree, AC. I mean, one of the things that comes to my mind immediately is when you're looking at this calendar, which is beautifully done, great graphic by Aldo himself, the man. But I, again, I don't have any statistical data to back this up. Maybe we could look it up. But I remember clearly last year we had a top 5 strength of schedule where it was a murderer's row, grueling, just hitters week in, week out. I understand there's a lot of offseason optimism, not just for from Bears fans to the Chicago Bears, but of course for Lions, for the Dolphins. Oh man, they got Tyreek Hill, and you're looking over and the Vikings signed Zadarius Smith, and the Jets got 3 first-round draft picks. I understand all of that could pan out to be true, but the thing is, we just need to look at what we know from history. The Jets are traditionally a lower performing franchise. The Falcons just traded away their franchise, the face of their franchise. They're clearly in a rebuild. The Dolphins have added a lot of talent, but need to prove it. So I can't help but look at this, and the reason I said I don't have statistical data, but I would imagine as just in May, I would imagine that this is a bottom 5 strength of schedule. It seems relatively forgiving for the Chicago Bears.
Absolutely. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I agree a lot with what Jordan says. Really, I think compared to last year, there's no sort of like 3 or 4 games in a row where you just think I don't think we can get anything from them games at all. But yeah, I think there's a lot of winnable games in there. When I actually did my own sort of like predicting, I was quite surprised about how many games I thought the Bears would win actually this season coming. But we're at that time of year where everybody's a winner at this moment in time. So yeah, it's a lot better than last year, and really, it's what this franchise at our level needs at this moment in time.
So KB just joined us. First off, I mean, you didn't miss much except for intros, and you're a man who needs no intro. You just show up and you're the star. Well, other than me, you're the star. But
I was gonna say on the AC show, oh no, baby,
what a build-up!
But so first of all, we're just looking at the schedule as
what
a
nice
whole.
build-up,
Give
mate.
us your thoughts. If you had any thoughts of the schedule as a whole, throw them on out there, and then we'll go by week by week.
Oh man, how I feel about this schedule, man. Listening to some of these Bears fans online, bro, we supposed to go 3 and whatever the hell. How many games we doing? 17 now, 3 or 14. So I mean, listening to Bears fans, it's supposed to be the end of the world when I see a bunch of winnable games on this schedule.
Yeah, I think David Kaplan said we're gonna win like 2 games this year. I was like, fucking how? We won 6 last year without a damn coach.
No way.
Right. I was gonna say because what are your two wins? The Lions are 2 definite dubs to me. I can care less how good they're trying to
they are 2 guaranteed every
Houston
year.
is right. Houston is horrible. New York is horrible. The Jets are still a horrible team. I mean, the Falcons, for as consistent as what they used to be, they're not a good team this year. Those all right there are dubs to me in my head that I go off of. Week 6 against the Washington football team, the Carson Wentz led Washington football team. That's not a game that I think we're going to lose. Hell, you get into some of these even a little bit more tougher games. Week 8 against the Cowboys, they lost a shit ton of talent. The week 9, you play the Dolphins with a Tua-led quarterback. A Tua Tagovailoa-led team. Where are we supposed to be losing all of these games at? That's just how I feel. I'm really trying to understand where we're supposed to be losing 14 games. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, I guess everyone's looking at it as a rebuild, so they're just assuming, or maybe they're setting their bar really low so the Bears can overachieve if they do, or I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out how to put our pictures on the side here. Man, we're missing Aldo. So we'll get into week 1. We'll go ahead and hop right in. According to this graphic, the white games are home, the orange games are away. So we'll hop right in, and we've got home opener against the San Francisco 49ers. And The biggest question for me on this game is who are we going to see opposing us at quarterback? Are we going to see Jimmy G back because they can't find a trade partner, or is Trey Lance going to be thrust in there and they'll have $25 million sitting on the bench? I don't know what their plan is there.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I think. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, Chris. I'll hold off.
Go on. All right, then. Yeah, no problem, mate. No problem. I mean, I think that's the biggest question with 49ers, but I reckon it might be Jimmy G. Because nobody seems to be wanting to sort of pick him up yet, and I think the rookie last year, I thought he was quite mixed, really, but I could be completely wrong because obviously, like you say, they've invested a lot of money into him, so I think it all depends on their quarterback. But I actually think the Bears can win this game. I just think that first game of the season where it's one of them games where anything could really happen. So I'm quite confident that we can actually do that.
Just go ahead and pick it up, Jordan.
Of course. Yeah, I think, I'm going to disagree with Chris a little bit here, and only because, I mean, we'll talk about this in week 2, but the San Francisco 49ers are not the Green Bay Packers. They don't have a history of spending high picks on quarterbacks and letting them sit 2, 3, 4 years behind the incumbent. Especially when you consider what the 49ers had to surrender to go up and move up and select Trey Lance to the Dolphins and the Eagles. They made a different amount of trades. I think they had to trade up to the Eagles and then trade back up into the 6th pick or the 3rd pick. It was just a wild scenario there. So I think that they had to give up a lot of picks, and I don't think that you're going to see them sit Trey Lance. There's expectations in the building that, hey, this guy needs to come in and perform. The only way that I would see Trey Lance not being the starter in that game is, one, is if he's injured, which let's hope not. But 2, if he just looks awful, if training camp is miserable and he's not performing well. But again, I think that you saw enough flashes from him in his rookie year to think that there's got to be some belief that he will be the starter. And then you got to consider that, hey, it's Kyle Shanahan. If there's a guy that can scheme up a game plan for a quarterback, Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, I'd like to think he could probably scheme up a game plan for Trey Lance, even if he's not ready.
Right.
So that's the way I see that playing out. I mean, I'll go ahead and be relatively quick here. Looking at the whole schedule, the way I've kind of broken it down is I have certain games that I would consider pretty safe wins, pretty safe losses, and then those games that are up in the air. They can go either way. This would be one of those games that I tend to believe it's one of those up in the air games. It can go either way. But I do believe that this game is more winnable than a lot of probably national media believe. You consider what the Bears – the Niners came to Soldier Field last year, and it was a close game up until the defense wet the bed at the end. And you consider, hey, it's going to be week 1. They're coming in. Week 1's of the games, I'll refresh people's minds for all of us that hate Green Bay. Green Bay got destroyed by the Saints in week 1 last year. Week 1 is the week of just funky games. Nobody knows who each other is yet. So I think that it's possible Trey Lance, with this new game plan, rolls into Soldier Field. It's a loud environment. Bears fans show up. And you consider what our offense is. Nobody knows what Luke Getsy's really running. Nobody understands this new tempo Bears team. And the way that this team played the Niners last year makes me believe, in Soldier Field, makes me believe that if you have competent offensive play calling, if the hits principle and everybody's hustling to the ball and trying to punch it out, if they play a scrappy game, which is really what I believe the Chicago Bears are going to be all year, a team that – I've told this to Aldo before. If you're coming to play the Chicago Bears, you're getting off the bus like, oh, crap, we got to play those guys, and we better pack a lunch and a hard hat because it's not going to be an easy day. And I tend to believe that this is a game, if I'm giving you my personal prediction here, I think the Bears come out with a win.
All right, KB, you want to overview this, and then we'll go through and we'll each give our pick, win or loss or
I mean, Jordan kind of said it perfectly, man. I feel like last year was one of the great tales. The 49ers didn't really add anybody of note that you would sit there and believe that this wouldn't be a winnable game in any kind of, you know what I'm saying, form of fashion. Then you still have the uncertainty on whether or not Debo is going to play there. There's no telling if he wants to hold out or he's still trying to force a trade. Nobody knows. So you have that uncertainty hanging over them. So they're coming into this with the kind of idea of, okay, we have Trey Lance, we still have Jimmy G. Our number one receiver is very unhappy. So what goes to tell me that we can't have a team come into Chicago and just not play to what people believe that they are capable of? To me, this is a very winnable game. Very winnable game. I felt it'd be a winnable game, even if Trey Lance was the coming in starter and Debo was happy, because I seen how we played them last year. Like I said, the defense decided to shit the bed and we lost.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields did everything possible to win that fucking game. And we're talking about a team that was in the NFC Championship that year. So I'm all behind Jordan on this one, man. To me, there's a lot of uncertainty that's actually going on with the 49ers right now that the media is just declining to talk about. You don't know who your quarterback really is going to be because you still got Jimmy G. You got the unhappy wide receiver, and then you're going to have a new offensive coordinator too, because you remember they lost their OC to the didn't he go to the Jets to be the head coach? I can't remember what team he went to.
Man, I didn't even think about that because their quarterback coach is at Kentucky now too. So they're kind of. I mean,
that's two major pieces, bro.
Right,
he's the guy.
Brain main, but you're losing major pieces that help you on offense. It seems like.
Yeah, you have to take into consideration some of these pieces that are missing from that team still, because like I said, you still lose that knowledge from the OC that they had. You still lose the quarterback coach. So it's a lot that goes into that, man. It's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's a dub to me.
Aldo's in the chat. He wants to score. I was just gonna say win or loss.
I'll try to give scores. I don't mind.
So early to try and pick a score. I don't know. But to me, I mean, the 49ers, you guys just laid it out perfectly. They lost a whole lot, but man, to me, they're a Super Bowl contender, and the Bears just aren't there yet. That's just my opinion. We're kind of rebuilding. They called it a remodel, but let's be honest. I mean, we see Justin. We hope he works out. We've seen flashes, but we want to see consistency. We got a brand new defense coming in. It is week one, Jordan, like you said, weird things happen in week one. So to me, this unfortunately is a Bears loss. And I think it really just comes down to where the 49ers as a franchise are compared to us. And even if it is Trey Lance starting under center, I just think that the 49ers have a little bit more talent, and they've got my favorite coach. Kyle Shanahan is my favorite coach in the entire league. So that's what it comes down to for me. I can't give the Bears a win here because we're just not on that level yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, Aldo's going to put us on the spot here and say give a score. I think it's funny because I tried to press Aldo a couple nights ago, and he was like, "It's too early to give a prediction."
That's why he's turning the tables on you.
It's definitely why it is.
Busting your chops, Aldo. Yeah. But yeah,
you're on the show.
Yeah, the one last thing I want to add here too that KB just made me think about. I was like, yeah, when you actually consider the offseason additions and losses for the 49ers, just real quick here, they lost Mike McDaniel, the offensive coordinator to Miami. Yeah. Quarterback coach.
It's Miami. That's where it went.
Yeah, quarterback coach is gone. Those are just the coaches. We're not even talking like Debo, I actually think will play. I know it's controversial, but if they have him under contract, he's going to be fine throughout training camp if he doesn't show up. We've seen this play out over and over and over again. The player usually shows up, doesn't want to face the fines, and they play the game. And nobody's going to be able to use him. Yeah, that's fine. Don Bear, showed report. So, yeah, I mean, there's a situation where Debo probably plays, but they've lost Laken Tomlinson, one of their starting guards, and they're hoping that I think it's Aaron Banks that they drafted in the second round last year from Notre Dame, who did not produce in his rookie year. They're hoping he comes in and fills that spot. Jaquiski Tart is out. They signed a special teams ace from Indianapolis, George Odom. Charvarius Ward is the big free agent signing there. What they're really hoping to do with D'Amico Ryans and that defense in year 2 is overload this offensive line. And certainly I want to pay credence to that. It'll be week 1, although you're right. It'll be week 1 where there's a scenario here where this Bears offensive line is trying to gel. And if there's one thing that I can say about the 49ers defensive line, and they better be able to block this up, Chicago, is you've got people coming. It's Eric Armstead. It's Javon Kinlaw. It's Nick Bosa. D Ford, I'm not sure if he's there or not anymore, but they drafted Jake Jackson. Yeah, Drake Jackson is one of my favorite edges that came out of USC. They drafted him in the back of the 2nd round. So they've got a loaded line. And the Bears, that's one common thing that you're going to hear me say is a lot of the Bears' opponents here, their front 7, particularly the defensive lines that they're facing, are some of the better ones in the league. So, and waves of them. So I think that as much as it seems like the 49ers are that Super Bowl contender because of Kyle Shanahan, I agree with you, AC. I think that there is some realization that, hey, they've lost some significant pieces and they're trying to plug certain things in and seeing if it works. And I tend to agree with you. For betting, sure, I think Kyle Shanahan makes it work, but maybe in week 6, week 7, I'm not sure about week 1 when they're like, who's this Bears team that we don't really know what they're doing on offense? And Tony Daly earlier in the chat had said, go look at the 49ers Indies game from last year. Like, Flus plays a lot of these teams very, very well. It's hard to deny that. So, I mean, I'll close it up here by saying, and this is hard, 24-21 Chicago Bears. Like I said, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a tough drag out war, but I think that you see, and I don't think it's some heavy scoring affair. The offenses are not in a state with their young quarterbacks to all of a sudden start dueling and they're throwing 60-yard touchdown. This is the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen part 2 game. It's just not. I think that you're going to see a 24-21 game where the Bears drag out a win to start the Matt Eberflus era in Soldier Field, and fans in Soldier Field are going wild.
Well, I mean, if that works out, I'll eat crow all day long. It don't. I will gladly eat crow over a Bears victory. It is no big deal. What you got, Chris? What you got on this game? Is it a Bears dub?
It's a Bears dub, mate. I think it'd be a really close game. I think it could come down to 3 points at the end. But I just think because it's first game of the season, it's at home opener. I can just see the Bears just edging it. But hopefully it'll be a good tight game.
And go ahead, pick up from there, KB. What you got? You got a dub or an L?
I definitely got the dub on this one. I've mulled over these first 4 games quite a bit. I've had anywhere from 2-2 to 1-3 for us just playing horrible, or like I said, us going 4-0. But in my heart of hearts, man, I honestly feel like this game is a win to me because they're coming to Chicago. In my head, it's going to be Trey Lance. Trey Lance is going to have to face this pressure of Chicago fans. I feel like it's going to be a Bears win, 24-14.
So, Aldo, if you're keeping score on us, they all have them going 1-0, and AC's got them going 0-1 so far. And I feel like an outsider on my own damn show.
It's just me that long-term plan.
Oh my God!
We'll move on. We'll move on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have us going 17-0. I apologize. Maybe
no, it's fine.
We'll see. Yeah,
it's understandable. It's understandable.
He doesn't believe.
He's a non-believer. Okay, yeah.
So we'll move on to week 2, where we play the Packers, and I sent out a tweet as soon as the schedule came out. 3 things in life. Yeah, 3 things in life are absolutely going to happen, and that's death, taxes, and the Bears playing in Green Bay on Sunday Night Football, because they cannot schedule this at 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock or any other time. We have to go up there on Sunday Night Football, and then they come in and get a 1 o'clock game as usual. And I believe this is the Packers home opener, if I'm not mistaken. I think they go on the road week 1 and then play at home week 2. So this will be the home opener at Lambeau at night under the lights with the remedial cheeseheads going crazy in the stands and getting married to their cousins or whatever they do.
Getting married, yeah, most definitely.
But
most definitely.
Man, this one's so tough for me because the Packers, I know we don't know what we have. I have no clue what they have. He lost
Nah.
Devontae Adams. His number one wide receiver is now Allen Lazard. It's going to be week 2. It's going to be a brand new season. I like the pieces they added. I love Devontae Wyatt, the defensive tackle they grabbed in the first round, and Quay Walker's a sneaky good pick as well. But man, you know what? I got the Bears going up there and pulling off the upset. They're going to go to Lambeau.
Whoa!
What?
My
I
boys,
need an explanation. God damn it!
that's I just explained it, man. They got all new pieces. They lost a lot of their offensive staff, just like the 49ers did. We got Getsy, Nathaniel Hackett's in Denver now. You got all these pieces moving around. Devontae Adams is out there in Las Vegas. So I've got the Chicago Bears going up to Lambeau and Cairo Santos kicking a last-second field goal to beat the Pack week 2. And y'all can call me a homer if you want. I will gladly take that. But I've got the Bears taking this victory right here.
If you could,
Hey, see, did you bump your head in Michelle this morning?
Hey, man, I might have. I was making some pancakes, so I might have slipped a little something into the batter. I don't know, but hey, I'm just feeling good this morning.
Okay. I'll go next. See, now this is why I kind of brought things back to reality.
It can be.
So yeah, I got a second L in Green Bay. Now, for all the reasons you said, is why I can hope as a fan that a lot of these games are toss-ups, even this game. Now I'm giving them the nod because it's in Green Bay, but the fact of the matter is the best wide receiving talent is technically going to be in Chicago. Darnell Mooney will be the best receiver in this game. I just need people to understand that. I think just because of the Aaron Rodgers and Lambeau Field aspect of things, they'll pull this game out. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what any fan in Green Bay is going to hope for. And I think they're going to get a dose of reality when they realize they don't really have the weapons. And when you lose all of that coaching talent and a star wide receiver, you come back to reality on certain things. But like I said, I'm going to give Green Bay the nod on this game.
Well, I mean, the refs will probably give them the nod on this game too. So
more than likely, you know how that is. But yeah, like I said, I got us at this point going 1-1. I just don't think at this point we'll be ready to technically beat them. You know what I'm saying? That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Jordan, and I'll let Chris finish this out.
Absolutely. I think, this is hard for me because I hate Aaron Rodgers. I'd love to see us beat him, and I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible, but I also want to try to be accurate and realistic. Let me give you the positives first. I think that if there's a time to try and beat Green Bay at their house, it's early in the season before their offense has gotten fully clicking. It's always nice to face people early on in the season. They don't have a ton of film to watch on you and vice versa. However, I'm a believer, and this goes to my fandom of boxing and fighting in general. Like, in order to win versus the champ, you don't just win by decision. You got to beat them. And I'm never going to. I'm done. I've seen enough. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Chicago Bears are beating the Green Bay Packers until they do it. Aaron Rodgers, as much as I hate the man, he's the trigger man, and I know that we can talk about like I'll clap back a little bit on the belief that like, oh, they don't have many weapons or they can't do this, and they've lost Nate Hackett. I'm like, yeah, they lost Nate Hackett and Luke Getsy, but they also brought in Tom Clements, the quarterback coach that he credits so much of his success to. Sure, they don't have any major pass catchers at wide receiver, tight end. No, they just brought back some of the same pieces. Like Robert Tonyan will be back, coming off the ACL. We'll see how he does. They have, and really what I think you're probably going to see, at least in this game, is a different Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers team. And what that means is it's sure you're still going to have a lot of those glance route RPOs. They're still going to run the ball. They're still going to throw screens to Aaron Jones. They're going to get their money out of that contract. But you're going to see guys like Amari Rodgers and Sammy Watkins and Christian Watson specifically get designated touches. We talk about Velus Jones and how, well, you got to really figure out a way to dial up the ball for him. That's what they're going to have to do early with a guy like Christian Watson. Give him a jet sweep, a reverse. Hey, let's throw a little bubble screen to Amari Rodgers. Let's have Sammy Watkins run a backside dig and see if we can hit that. It's not going to be, I'm not telling you it's Devontae Adams, but to sit there and say that they're just barren, I don't think you're going to see it. And so, especially you're asking Chicago to go up to Lambeau and do it early on. It seems like too tall of a task. And like I said, I'd love to be wrong. I will take the ratio all day and night, but I hate to say it. I have to bow down to the king of Green Bay, the king of the North. Until we unseat them, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Chicago Bears are beating the Packers. I just can't do it.
All right, Chris, what you got, brother?
Well, as a fan, obviously, I like to see us beat the Packers. But in reality, and in this dismal world we live in sometimes, I think the Packers are going to beat us. But I think it's going to be a closer game than it has been over the last sort of couple of seasons. I think they've generally got a little bit worse, and I think we're improving as a squad. So for me, it's just that'd be a really good game to see, actually. Be a good barometer for like the start of the season to see, actually what sort of level we are, compared to a really good side like Green Bay. But alas, I think it's going to be a loss. But we will get there one day. I'm sure we will.
So if you're keeping score at home, we've all got them starting out 1-1, and I've got them pulling an upset over the Green Bay Packers after a tough loss in Week 1.
You know what, AC, everything about what you said, I'm actually okay with it. We lost to the 49ers in Week 1 and somehow went to fucking Green Bay and win.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah, I do like what Jordan was saying about their receiving core, though, because everyone knows I was a huge fan of Watson pre-draft, and Amari Rodgers is right there with me too. The way he was able to tear up defenses at Clemson, I don't really want to sleep on him. But the thing the thing that we've seen with Rodgers is it takes time for him to build chemistry with these wide receivers. Even with Devontae Adams, it wasn't instant. With Jordy Nelson, I don't believe that was instant, if I can remember correctly. So Week 2, going up there, I feel like we've got a better shot than anyone's going to give us.
Yeah.
Especially what Don Burr said, they're going to stomp a mud hole in our ass. But I mean, that may or may not be a biased opinion of Don Burr.
Yeah, I was going to say, until Detroit can finish outside of 4th place in the NFC North, we don't pay attention to Don Bear.
And one brief thing I want to add, like Matthew Fochese put in a great comment that the only thing that worries him is Rodgers eats cover 2. And that's one thing I really want to remind people of, is that you're talking about a quarterback that's mental game is top level. And I understand maybe the physical attributes may start to decline. I actually have a lot of real criticisms about Aaron Rodgers' willingness to take chances and shots in games. But, with the rise of the too high defense and Fangio scheme, and we're not running Fangio scheme, I get it, but something that they had talked about when he had to go up against that Rams team in the playoffs and things of that nature is he had said, look, the issue with these defenses and these quarterbacks facing these defenses is they lose patience. And if you're willing to be patient, which is all about what this defense is, it's, hey, bend, don't break. But if you're willing to be patient and take what they give you and be methodical and move down the field periodically, I think that is, and he understands this. He gets like, look, I'm probably not going to hit you guys for a 75-yard bomb because you're going to be playing too high, cover 2, and I'm going to have to sit there and dink and dunk you for 7, 8, little screen to Aaron Jones. Those are the things that I'm like, if there's a guy that I believe in that understands, all right, Flus, I'll take what you're giving me. And this gets to my score prediction. I think Green Bay's defense is nasty. They brought back Devondre Campbell, brought in Quay Walker, retained Mr. Pick Six on Justin Fields, Russell Douglas. Jair Alexander will be healthy, ideally. I'm thinking 24-10 Packers. It's not going to be particularly close or easy because you're going to have a guy that is sitting there saying, I'm not going to make mistakes. I'll take what you give me. It's not going to be a 40-point game. The defense is going to try and play Justin Fields nice and tight, and Justin Fields is going to have to press. And I think it's going to be an offense that, we're going to see LaFleur kind of son Luke Getsy a little bit and say, take your place. Sit down.
Well, we'll see Week 2. And we'll move on to week 3 now. It's a bit of a homecoming. We got Lovie Smith and the Houston Texans coming into town. I kind of like what they did in the draft, but honestly, I have no idea what Lovey's got left. I mean, he was good here, but I haven't seen him succeed anywhere else after he left Chicago. He went to Tampa and failed. He went back to college, and someone's dog like that.
It's definitely mine just came up. Hold on.
So he went back
Man,
to the
that
college
scared the
game.
shit out of me.
We got a dog that loves
Absolutely
Lovie
scared the
Smith.
shit out of
I
me.
guess, yeah.
He saw Lovie in that white beard. He was like, "Look, I'm pumped."
Yeah. So he gets another shot to be a head coach down in Houston, and we'll see how it works out for him. I just don't. I'm going to go straight into my prediction. I think this is a Bears dub, and honestly, if there's a game where we cruise to victory, I think this is it. I just don't think the Houston Texans are a good team. I just don't. The talent's not there, and honestly, I don't think Lovey's got it anymore. I think this is a big game for Justin Fields, and I think the Bears might win this one like 30-10 or something. It won't even ever be in question of maybe I'm smoking something this morning. I'm just really high up, but I don't think the Houston Texans are a good ball team. I like Stingley, who they drafted, but I mean, I don't know, man. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll start. It's a situation. It's funny, AC. You said you're high, and I'm thinking, like Don Bear over here. All those telling him to put down the pipe. You're gonna find it's hard for me to root against Lovie Smith. I have a deep affinity for the man that is Lovie Smith. I also think that they had one of the best drafts in the entire league. And listen, if you have a good draft, we got Don Bear in the chat. The Lions had a good draft too, but until we see it on the field, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're going to win this game. I have Chicago winning it, but I certainly think it's going to be a game of Justin Fields versus Davis Mills. And maybe we'll see where this show takes us. Maybe I'll have the Bears winning a game in a blowout fashion, but I don't think it's this game. I think the Bears will win. I'm going to say 17-10. I think what it comes down to is Justin Fields makes more plays than Davis Mills. But you look at that. The reason I tend to believe Houston's more of a fighter this year than even last, and they surprised a lot of people, is that Lovie Smith was the defensive coordinator last year. The defense played same old Lovie ball. That's the difference between Eberflus and Lovie, is that Lovie hasn't changed. Eberflus will run some cover 1, some cover 3, some man match. Lovie hasn't changed from his days in Chicago, but for whatever reason, with a lack of real talent in Houston's roster last year on defense, they were competitive. And then you consider the man that I wanted him in Chicago, Pep Hamilton, who was the quarterback coach last year for Davis Mills, is taking on the coordinator job. So I think that they're going to be a more cohesive, competitive team under Lovie Smith than what David Coley had them going. So again, I don't have them winning this game, but I don't think it's going to be some massive blowout. I think Chicago ekes it out 17-10.
That's a good point. The Lovey defense should keep them close. I don't know. I just feel like the talent level is not there for them, to be honest.
Yeah, one last thing. You're seeing Stingley here in the picture, but they also added Jalen Petrie. Jalen Petrie.
Oh, yeah.
It's their secondary is somewhat reworked. You have, again, that running game that they're going to try to rely on with Marlon Mack and Dameon Pierce. So we'll see what happens. But I think they added John Mechie. I'm even just trying to circle through their draft and thinking, okay, who else did they add? And John Mechie is a fantastic route runner if he's healthy off the ACL. Again, I'm pumping them up, but I'm not taking them to win. I just think it's going to be closer than people think.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be kind of one of those, the mentor versus the student in this game, where I feel like the mentor, like you say, is kind of still stuck in his ways. Lovey is Lovey. He's going to stick to what Lovey does. But Eberflus has shown the capacity to say, you know what, I feel like we need to go man in this game and switch it up and do these cover 1s and whatnot. So, this is one, like I said, I have us winning. I just don't feel they're talented enough which is funny because we're talking about a team where folks are saying we're retooling. I don't feel like they're talented enough to beat us, but I do feel like it's going to be a lot closer of a game because, like I said, it's that mentor versus the student aspect of it, and Eberflus is going to kind of just kind of take the reins on this one. So yeah, I got the Bears winning this one. Like I said, I feel like it'll probably be a lot closer game. It'll probably be somewhere around the realms of a 21 to 17 type game. Yeah, the defense is reign supreme in this one.
Yeah. What you got, Chris?
Yep. I think this is a game which the Bears will win. I think it's a game that we got to win because I think the Texans are the sort of club we've got to beat, and it's a club really where you can see that we've moved on as a program. So I just can't see the talent in the Texans really to beat us. So I'm definitely definitely is what you can say about sport. Definitely saying that the Bears are going to win. And I said definitely about 400 times.
Definitely. So, yeah, I think we're all kind of in step for step. Bears get the win. I've got them winning by a little bit more than, Jordan and KB. They said it was close. Chris said that it's a definite Bears win. Definitely. But we'll move on to the Giants here. And this is a road game in New York. There's a lot of Bears fans up there and that are already looking forward to this game. Speaking of great drafts, I really love what the Giants did. They stayed put. They got one of the top pass rushers and, in my opinion, the best offensive tackle in the draft. Now, is that enough to put them over the hump? I'm not sure. Who did they hire as their head coach? Man, I can't even remember.
Brian Daboll.
Yeah. So obviously that's a guy that a lot of Bears fans wanted, and they went and got Joe Shane from the Buffalo organization as well. So they're making good moves. They're rebuilding, retooling their team. And to me, it just comes down to quarterback play. What do you have in Daniel Jones? And I didn't like Daniel Jones coming out. This might be my Kentucky bias. He went to Duke. I can't stand Duke or anything or anybody from Duke. So I don't think Daniel Jones is the man. And I mean, it's an early game, week 4, so we don't have to worry about weather or anything with this game. I think it comes down to Justin Fields outplaying Daniel Jones, and I got the Bears winning this as well. So we start out, in my opinion, the year 3-1. The only loss being that home opener versus San Francisco. What do you got, Jordan?
Yeah, this is a game. I guess I'll start out with the score. I have the Bears in either winning by a 17-10, 21-14 type game. I know this seems like, oh, they're rebuilding. They are rebuilding, absolutely. But theoretically, Saquon Barkley should be healthy. They've added some offensive line pieces there to really create 2 bookends with Andrew Thomas, Evan Neal. They signed Mark Lewinsky, guard. So I think they're trying to do everything that they can to protect and surround talent around Daniel Jones. I still think Daniel Jones is a worse quarterback than Justin Fields, and I think the Giants lose. But the real key factor here that I don't think a lot of Bears fans are going to pick up on, which scares the Jesus out of me, is they've hired Wink Martindale as their defensive coordinator. And Wink knows how to coach defense one way and one way only, and that is blitz heavy. It is, I'm going to send the house at you. I'm going to run simulated pressures. I'm going to walk up 9 guys on the line and make it look like cover 0. Then we're going to drop 8 of them. It's exotic blitz packages that are made to stifle you. And I worry a little bit about how Justin Fields early on into year 2 handles that. I worry particularly about how the offensive line and the protections get set handling that. So I think it will be a little bit of a doozy on offense, a hard one to kind of stumble through, but I still think they find a way to outduel Daniel Jones and pick up a win. Like I said, 17-10, 21-14 type game.
Sorry, I was in the chat. Go ahead, KB, and then we'll let Chris finish us off again.
Let's see, man. This is another one I got. Let's say since we're keeping score, I got us going 3-1 at this point. The Giants, man. What could be said about the Giants that hasn't already been said, man? Team that has a ton of number one picks. Team that, for whatever reason, cannot put it together. Whether it be coaching, whether it just be players that they say checked out, who knows? As far as I go, I don't feel like this team is in a position to beat us. I feel like even with our coaching changes, I feel like we're in a better position than what they are. I know they got Dayball or whatever. I don't think he's going to get enough out of Daniel Jones to have a consistent offense at this point. To me, I still felt like Mr. Trubisky would have been his best bet. I feel like we going to New York and we take one. This is a game to me where it's like I said, it's going to be kind of defense heavy with what Jordan was saying. We have that the defensive coordinator who likes to show blitz. I think at this point we start to see our offense take shape, and we start to see what our offense is going to be for the year. And I got us winning this one big.
Well, the Giants, they're just going to tank this year and then go ahead and draft my guy Will Levis out of Kentucky, and they'll just pair him with Wan'Dale Robinson. And real talk, Will Levis is getting top 10. It's way too early mock drafts.
He gets some love, man.
Yeah, I love the way the kid plays. If you guys haven't watched Will, I'm biased, obviously, but he's a hell of a quarterback. He can put the ball where it needs to be, and he'll run your ass over, too. That's the one thing that scares me about him. He needs to learn how to slide, honestly. He's going to get his head knocked off in the league.
Right, well, I'll give you my prediction.
Damn, Chris is fucked up this morning.
I'm a little bit space kidded this morning. I'm sort of recovering from a bit of an night's out, so I can't remember when the night finished and this morning started. So, but yeah, going back to the Giants game, I think we'll beat the Giants. I think our quarterback's better than their quarterback. I think Daniel Jones, I think in 5 years' time, the only thing I'll be remembered about him is when he made that really long run and fell about 4 steps before he got to the end zone. So I think it'll be one of them grind them out games. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game at all, but I do think the Bears will edge it out on a tough one.
Yeah, it always seems like that against the Giants. We have regardless of the talent level, it's like a dogfight when we play the Giants. And I think that continues. I think it might be an ugly game, like 17-14 or a 14-10 type game, but I think the Bears get the dub here. So we'll move on to week 5 here. It's our second divisional game, and we have to play the Minnesota Vikings at Minnesota, which is really strange because the last, 10 seasons, it feels like we've finished the seation going
at
up
Minnesota.
There, at Minnesota. So we actually get to go up there when the weather's kind of decent. I guess it doesn't matter because they play in a dome, but it does matter when you're going out to your car and you have to defrost and get all the ice off of it in January, whereas as opposed to here in September. Man, the Vikings are tough, dude. It's tough for me to pick this one. No Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks we've seen in the past he takes it
wrecks the damn Vikings, bro.
He takes it personal. Like it's that Michael Jordan meme. I took that personally whenever they talk about Dalvin Cook being top 3 running back in the league. He just goes in there and does work. But man, the Vikings, they traded within the division twice, which is weird, but they still ended up with Andrew Booth Jr., a good corner, and they grabbed, I think, Lewis Seen, if I'm not mistaken, out of Georgia.
Yeah, they did. They grabbed him at the back of the end of the first.
Right. So they've retooled their defense a little bit. We'll still wait and see what Kwesi does as far as the GM. I like the head coach they hired, O'Donnell, out of the LA Rams system, which we all know works. I think this is a close game, but I think the Bears lose this game. I think it's going to be like a I mean, if I had to put a number on it, I would say like a 24-21 Vikings victory at Minnesota, a heartbreaker. But I mean, it's tough for me to pick against the Vikings with what they've built up there with one of the best receiving cores in the league, and they've done everything they can to raise the level of Kirk Cousins. Now, he's kind of still been mediocre at best, but I think they have just enough, they have enough to beat us, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm like I said, this is where realism comes into play. I do not have us beating the Vikings in week 5. There's absolutely not. For all the shit talk, I will talk about teams in NFC North, especially the Lions being as trash as they are, and Don Bird thinking that they're good. The Vikings are one of the exceptions. The Vikings have a damn good team. They have a lot of pieces on offense. Like I said, Justin Jefferson he is a dog. He is a phenomenal receiver, man.
Yeah.
Still got Dalvin Cook to worry about, even though Dalvin Cook doesn't seem to play to Dalvin Cook's level when he plays against us. And like I said, we have Akeem Hicks to usually give that to. I just at this point, I don't think we have enough to beat them in week 5 in Minnesota. So I'm giving this game to the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll kind of pick up off of that. This is a team, this series between the Vikings and the Bears that I think the Bears split it 1-1 on the season. Which way it goes, whether they lose this one, win this one, we'll see. But this is one that I guess if I had to kind of put it down, and I know you were making a joke earlier that like I'm taking the score prediction seriously. I am, because obviously it's somewhat of a joke, but what the score does is it provides you context into, is it a tight game? How does it end? Is it a high-scoring affair? Things of that sort. And where I see this game going is I see the Bears losing this early. It's really going to be – I'll tell you what the crux of the game is going to depend on is how do Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker, Jalen Johnson, Tavon Young, Kyler Gordon handle the receiving core that is Thielen, Jefferson, Irv Smith, who should be coming back healthy, Dalvin Grunt catching the ball in the screen game. So it's really going to depend on this defense and see, can you contain and hold down Kirk Cousins in this offense? I differ with you a little bit, AC, in the fact that I don't love the O'Connell hire for head coach. There's a lot of people that hire from the Sean McVay tree, and it has middling effects. For example, I don't think that the Bengals are a Super Bowl contending team because of their head coach. I think it's much more of Joe Burrow and the quarterback and the talent that Duke Tobin has amassed there. So we'll see what happens in Minnesota, but I tend to think that they are a team that is a little bit ahead of where the Bears are in their schedule of rebuilding. I think that I'm one who really appreciates Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah's idea that, hey, we have a crew of players here that are worth building around, whether it be a Danielle Hunter, Dalvin Cook, everybody knows the names. And the term he's used is a competitive rebuild, where, sure, we need to rebuff up that secondary. So we'll draft Lewis Cine and we'll draft Andrew Booth. But at the same time, we have a quarterback that can win us a good amount of games and get us into the playoffs if everything's perfect. So we're not going to just sit there and tear that down. And because of that refusal to completely remodel, where the Bears are like, no, we probably have a lot more work to do, I think it puts the Vikings right now in week 5 slightly ahead of where the Bears are at this point. And so I have them losing this game. Probably, like I said, as a score prediction, probably 21-17.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. Give your prediction.
Yeah, I found this game really hard to predict. Originally, I put down this as a Bears win, and it's like the first game I came to, and I didn't think about it. I think the Vikings are a little bit ahead of us at this moment in time, so I changed that to a loss. But I think it would be a tight game. I don't think the Vikings will walk all over us at all, and but I do put it down as a loss.
Yeah, it's just tough. Like Jordan was saying, how they're just at a different spot in their team building than we are, in my opinion. And like I said, I think that the Akeem Hicks loss is huge in this game because the way he just wrecks their offensive line. Now maybe we'll see that out of some of the guys that we brought in, but I don't know. Maybe it's just my biasness, but I hold Akeem Hicks higher than anyone that we have currently on our defensive line, to be honest. Especially in this situation, in this game, because I mean, there's times where they hike the ball and he's back there. He could take the damn handoff from Dalvin Cook. He is how he's been wrecking these games, and he's still a free agent. So I haven't heard any news or notes that the Bears have talked to him or anything. He might be a late body that they bring in, or something like that if he still wants to be a Bear. But we'll just have to see how that goes. And so we've all got them 3-2 at this point. We just have them getting there in different ways, I believe, right? You guys all had the Packers loss and a Vikings loss, and I had a San Francisco loss and a Vikings loss. So we've all got 3-2 at this point. And then we have a Thursday night game against the Washington Commanders, the Fighting Ron Rivera's. And they come into town, and honestly, I don't know if they've talked about this on National Football Talk or anything. I think Ron Rivera's seat's getting a little warm up there in Washington. And if he doesn't get something done this year, he might be looking for another job next year, which I think he's a good coach, and I think he will get that other opportunity. But I just don't know if Washington has it all put together, honestly. They made some questionable decisions in the draft. I think they traded down when they probably could have, they could have stayed put and gotten, in my opinion, a better player. I believe that's the Olave trade, if I'm not mistaken. That was the Saints moved up to grab Olave.
Correct.
They could have gotten him and paired him with, unless they think that that's what they've got with Terry McLaurin and they were just trying to let someone else have their Terry McLaurin. But man, I love Chris Olave, as you guys know, and I think it really could have helped Carson Wentz out. I think the Bears get this win. I think it's a close one because both defenses I really like. We're still a new one, but I like the pieces that we have. And the Washington Commanders, they grabbed my guy Jamin Davis last year, so obviously I love that. But I think it's going to be a defensive battle that the Bears pull out in the end. What do you guys think?
I think, man, I don't trust Carson Wentz at all. Anywhere the man is going, you seen he's in Indianapolis. Indianapolis doesn't even
hang on just 1 second, KB. Can you take a sip right quick from whatever you're drinking on over there? But you got some Incredible Hulk over there. You turning up early this morning? What is this?
This is why I love you, man.
I saw
he knows exactly what I got, bro. You just seen the drink. Yes, I'm drinking an Incredible Hulk this morning. Yeah, we started it off early.
For the folks that are, how do I word this? Urbanly inclined or declined a little bit. That is Hennessy and Alizé, correct?
Hypnotic for me.
Hypnotic, Hypnotic and Hennessy. That's the Incredible Hulk. So turn up, KB, brother. I'll let you go ahead now. I just had to let you on just so I thought I saw it down there. I said, man, I gotta say something here.
This one, my boy. This man, me and AC have been vibing for a long time, people. We came on the show together. We met and it was immediately like, dog, we've been friends since we've been 3. Like, man, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Oh, we get into this Commanders thing. The defensive line is incredible. Everybody knows it. But this is why I come to with these quarterbacks in these situations, man. I do not trust Carson Wentz at all, not in the slightest. This is not the same guy who was the MVP front runner for the Philadelphia Eagles. he's not the same quarterback. I guess the injury killed him. I don't know what happened. Whatever happened between the ears happened. This, to me, like I said, very winnable game. They're coming to Chicago. I feel we'll be juiced, especially after we lose a very close game to Minnesota. And I feel like we win this game. And I'm not going to say we handily beat them, like it's going to be an ass whooping, but I feel that it's going to be a 10-point game. Like I said, I'm at the point I'm at. I feel that we're underrating what our offense is going to really be at this point. Like I said, by the point we were week 4, I felt like the offense was going to be starting to take off. I felt like Justin Fields is going to be really in rhythm with what he's doing. You'll see all of this time that he's put in with Darnell Mooney. All of this shit is going to start to take fruition. And I also have Cole Kmet. Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet are my main fixtures this year. We're going to take leaps because of those 2 players. So, like I said, I got us winning this game. I score-wise, I don't know what the score will be. I just feel like it's going to be us by 10 points.
Okay. I guess I'll hop into it. So it's a tough one. I think Ron Rivera puts together respectable teams year in and year out. He's one of my favorite coaches. I don't like Carson Wentz. I don't trust Carson Wentz, although I will admit he is a very streaky player. But let me give you an example. Like, what I think about Carson Wentz, I think that he went to one of the most ideal scenarios and situations that he could have gone into last year with a guy that firmly believed in him, an offense that was built around the run game, and asking Carson Wentz to just make the right throws and don't throw the game away. And admittedly, if you're just a box score scout, he put up some pretty good stats doing that. And that is in the most ideal scenario. And still somehow, some way, despite those good stats, couldn't lift that team above the Jacksonville Jaguars at the end of the season. And it's just one game, but the reality is that is who Carson Wentz is. Mm-hmm. Even in ideal circumstances, there's question marks about what he can truly fulfill. And I think this is a game I have the Chicago Bears winning in a primetime manner. I know, is it a Thursday night game? I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll be a short week. I get it. But, the big concern for me, and this again, you heard me say this earlier, these teams that they're facing have good defensive lines. Like, if you want to talk about the best defensive lines in the league, mm-hmm. Washington's got it with Daron Payne, John Allen. They lost Matthew Ioannidis, but they've Montez Sweat and everybody else. So they have a good defensive line. I think it's going to be imperative for the Bears to block that up and get just in time. You're not going to have an easy time running on those guys, but I think when it comes down to it, I mentioned how a guy like Aaron Rodgers understands how to take what's given to him and move just down the field in a progressive manner. That is where I think a guy like Carson Wentz completely fails. I think that if they can generate pressure on this defense, he's a guy that's going to get, baited by an Eddie Jackson or a Jaquan Brisker, a Kyler Gordon type play where he's going to loft one up and it's going to cost them. And I have the Bears winning this game 24-17.
Yeah, I think we'll learn a lot about our offensive line in this game. Like you guys mentioned, Washington, they love some Alabama defensive linemen. I think they picked another one this year, didn't they? So they're definitely loaded up.
Darian Mathis.
Yeah, and Chase Young, in my opinion, I think someone just talked about him in the chat, if I'm not mistaken. OSU kid is a monster. I'm assuming that's what he meant to say, not a minister. But yeah, Chase Young is a beast, dude, and that'll be man. Hopefully, well, we don't have Nagy here anymore, so hopefully they won't have a left tackle out there on an island against a great pass rusher like they did in Cleveland last year. But go ahead, Chris, and give me your thoughts.
I'm still in shock with KB's choice of drink. my prediction. I'm still shocked to KB. I thought that's a strange drink for this time of day. But
hey,
go
man.
ahead.
It's never too strange, baby.
I've got the Bears. That's what. The more strange, the better it is.
Facts.
But I've got the Bears beating the Commanders. I think like what you guys have said. Really, I've never been a fan of Carson Wentz since he got injured. I think he's been I think he's been one of these quarterbacks who tries to do too much as well, and I think that can lead to some of his mistakes. But I think this is another game what the Bears have got to win, really, because we're going quite a tough sort of stretch after that, a tough sort of 3 games. So I put that down as a home win.
All righty. So if I'm trying to keep score here, I think we've all got them with
3-2.
Yeah, 3-2 at this point in the season. Early in the season, looking decent. We'll see what the O-line, D-line have progressed to, at this point. And now we go on the road to a Monday night football game in Gillette Stadium against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. And I've heard everything that I've heard from all the podcasts going over the schedules is that the Patriot Stadium is one of the toughest ones to get into, I guess. I guess there's like one road that leads all the way in, which is not very smart, but it is what it is. The Patriots have Mac Jones under center, and we've got Justin Fields. And you want to talk about questionable draft decisions. I mean, Bill Belichick gets a pass, but he grabbed a 3rd-round center in the 1st round and traded up for a 5th or 6th round wide receiver at 50. So, I mean, typically they give him the benefit of the doubt because he's considered the greatest coach of all time. But I think the Patriots are in for a fall off this season. They lost a lot of their linebackers. And like I said, I really don't like what they did in the draft. I don't think they surrounded Mac Jones with enough talent, which a lot of people say about us, that we didn't surround Justin Fields with enough talent. But if we made the same moves that the Patriots have made, we would be getting absolutely roasted. But because they have Belichick, they get the benefit of the doubt. I'm not sure if I want to call this a Bears victory just because of Belichick.
Yeah.
But I really think this is a closer game than a lot of people think. Maybe like 21-20 Patriots or something like that close, like 1 or 2 point game. In my opinion, I just don't like what the Patriots have done with their offseason. They did not attack free agency whatsoever. They did not attack the draft whatsoever, and they're just trying to hope Belichick can do what he does and go from there, I guess. But I think the Bears, where we're at, rebuilding, and the Patriots, where they're at, they're still a little bit ahead of us, but I think it's a lot closer game than a lot of people are expecting.
Yeah, man. When you look at this, man, the the actual fan in you considers everything that you just said, and I feel like, this game is a lot more winnable than what I first thought. They lost J.C. Jackson, which to me was a big blow to that defense because he was a legit lockdown corner. Then you kind of look at the offense. They're kind of in the same predicament that we're in. It's just that McDaniels kept Mac on the schedule. It's take these dump routes, and we're gonna move the ball that way. So you losing shit. I forgot that. I almost forgot they lost McDaniels. Damn. Shit. Now part of me is kind of leaning towards something else. I'm gonna stick to my guns on this one. It's hard to go into New England and win. And it kind of spits in the face on things that I've said about how I feel the offense will start to turn. But you know what I'm saying, just the err on the side of caution and being realistic, I'll say it's going in a Gillette to be a loss. It's going to be a very, very close game, somewhere similar to what AC was saying. But I think they'll end up pulling this game out. But the meatball fan in me says that Justin comes in and it says that, I'm better than Mac Jones. And y'all, like, I have something to prove. So I'm not gonna change my prediction. But I think Justin comes in and Justin has something to prove in this game. But I still take the Patriots in this one.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, this game is this. It's funny to me because I'm going to defend the Patriots here a little bit. I promise I'm a Bears fan, but I think people are overly critical about the Patriots, what they're building. And I understand people don't like the Cole Strange pick and the Tyquan Thornton pick. I think that they are changing their offensive philosophy to a zone running scheme. And I understand a lot of people look at the Tyquan Thornton pick, like, what are you doing picking a 6th-round receiver? I think what they're doing is asking a 4-2 guy to take the top off and then allow guys like their 2 tight ends and Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar to run underneath routes and then let Mac Jones be the trigger man to just nickel and dime you all the way down the field. And that's when they're not gashing you with Pierre Strong on the zone runs game. So I think that the offense is going to be better than people expect. I think that there's a lot of concerns about the pieces they've lost. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they haven't lost a lot of pieces, but I think that they've also rebuilt with players that they think have a real role on this team. They lose one J.C. Jackson to add one Malcolm Butler. And I understand Malcolm Butler's coming off retirement. People don't know what he's going to bring. But if there's a place that I think Malcolm Butler can reclaim his skill, it's probably New England. They bring in Jabril Peppers, kind of that jack of all trades player. They've brought in pieces. Terrence Mitchell is somebody they acquired to be a cornerback. So they're not bereft of talent. And, of course, you still got Bill and his son, Steve, running the defense there. So Matt Patricia's back in the fold. I think that they're a more dangerous team than people realize, and I think going into Foxborough is always a difficult challenge, especially in Week 7. I think it was around Week 7-ish that Brady and Mac Jones game happened last year, and it was like a rainy mess. So weather probably won't be great. I think that this is a Patriots win over the Bears, 24-14, 24-17 type game.
What you got, Chris?
Yeah, I agree a lot what you guys have been saying. Really, I think this is going to be a Bears loss. I just think it'll be a close game, but I think it's 2 teams which are going to pass each other going different ways. I think the Bears are going to be going up, and the Patriots are slowly starting to have that decline of the empire sort of feeling to it to me. But I do believe the Patriots are always going to be a good standard, and I think they might just have just a little bit too much for us. For the game. So, yeah, I do predict a Bears loss.
All righty. So we've all got a loss here in New England. And after this, we go on the road to Jerry's World to take on the Dallas Cowboys, the NFC East defending champion Dallas Cowboys. As KB said, they've lost a lot of people. You see that Amari Cooper is gone. They've lost pieces on their offensive line, but they still got Zeke, they still got Dak, and they still got Micah Parsons, who I think is an absolute stud. I know I'm not saying anything astronomical there. He can play all over the defense. Sorry, excuse me. And he really gives them a lot of firepower on the Dallas defense. It's tough to go into Dallas and win, especially if you're rebuilding. I like the pieces that they have down there. And I've got the Cowboys winning this game. I think it could be a close one. Somewhat close. I think Dallas wins like 24-14 or something like that. I just don't think we have enough. And it'll be huge on the offensive line. We'll see what our offensive line looks like at this point in the season. If we can run the ball and control the clock, it might be a lot closer than what I just said. But I like Dak Prescott. I liked him coming out of college. And I think he's a good quarterback. A lot of Cowboys fans are not fans of him, but they weren't fans of Romo either, even though he was an undrafted free agent that all he did was win ball games, regular season. And I think the Cowboys win this game. Honestly, I do. I just don't think we're at that point yet. I think it's a close one.
I'm hearing what you're saying, but you know what my stance has been.
What? I don't know what your mic just.
My mic is my. Oh,
All you're doing is popping. That's all I'm hearing.
hold on. Let me fix. Somebody else go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Jordan.
I'll go ahead. I think this is a game that the Bears lose. I'm not gonna mince words here. I don't even think it's gonna be particularly very competitive. I'd like to say that they would. I'm probably going to be at this game. I'm planning on going to Dallas and Atlanta, taking a plane flight to it. But I think that this is a situation where they are. You talk about like real contenders. I think that the NFC East is always a little funky, but the Cowboys are a true contender. If there's a guy that I really believe can dial up, I was worried about Wink Martindale. I'm absolutely worried about Dan Quinn year 2 in this system, scheming up Micah Parsons a year ahead of schedule. DeMarcus Lawrence. I know everybody's, well, they lost Randy Gregory. Yeah, they also brought in Sam Williams. You got that. If I hate to say it this way, but if Justin Fields can be lazy on a throw to Rasul Douglas and watch pick six, you're going to see Trevon Diggs trying to bait him and jump those routes. And so I think it's going to be a tough game defensively for the Bears offense. I think that their offense is going to struggle a lot versus this defense. And I do have real concerns about the Cowboys and the weapons that they still have. They've lost, obviously, Amari Cooper, but even Cedric Wilson and some other pieces there. Connor Williams is gone, but they brought in Tyler Smith. So I think that they've done a decent job refueling off the pieces that they've lost. I still think the real question I have is the receiver core, but I think Dak's a smart player, gets it to the right position. We'll see what happens with Zeke, but Tony Pollard's a good player too. The offensive line still looks good. I think this is a 35-24 game, Dallas.
Okay. Now I'm back. Can y'all hear me? We good?
Yeah, you're good, brother.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. All right, man.
It's okay.
Like I said, bro, I hear what you're saying, Jordan. I hear you. AC, I hear you. This is where I come from. For whatever reason, Dallas seems like a team that the Bears play tough for whatever reason. I don't know if we take the America's team to heart and we took it personal. I don't know. But I do not trust this team. They are one of the most up and down teams in the league, and for every year they are overrated. They are as overrated as Notre Dame is overrated every year. This is supposed to be America's team. Dak is supposed to be able to do no wrong. Zeke is supposed to be a great running back, but Tony Pollard is the better running back. So I say all this to say you don't know if you're gonna get a Gallup back at 100% by this point. He could still be rehabbing. He could be just coming in. Who knows? So that leaves you with Dalton Schultz and Jerry Jeudy to really worry about. Yes, the defense is great. The defense is phenomenal. But like I said, at this point, I'm expecting us to have taken off by this point on offense. I can give a damn about what this offensive line is really looking like at this point because I feel like the offense is going to be gelling. I feel like we have enough at this point. We start to put ourselves together that we can steal this game. Because like I said, I don't trust the Cowboys no more than I trust Carson Wentz and the fucking Commanders. Dak Prescott has shown a propensity to have erratic games where he looks like he should be the backup on the Jaguars. So I feel like we'll do enough to beat them in this game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a high scoring game. Maybe it's 17-14. Bears pull this out. I just feel like we snatched this game from Dallas.
I like the thinking, KB, there, but I actually think the Cowboys are just going to beat us. I think they're just a little bit further along with their offense than where we are. And it absolutely sort of puts me in pain to say that because I despise the Dallas Cowboys as much as I do the Packers. All the we're America's team and all that bullshit. I just despise them. But I think they're just a little bit further on their offense. But I think it'll be a close game. That's how I see it. But I do see it as a Bears loss, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of you, Jordan, man. If there's a game I'd like to go to, it'd probably be this one because this Dallas, Jerry's World. It's a hell of a stadium. I think 100,000 seats in it. It's just a massive, massive stadium there in Arlington. And so I'm a little jealous of you, but we'll move on now because in the essence of time, my wife has already told me we've got a brunch date today. So I apologize, but Daddy can't be late. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Hey, so you just blame me. That's what all my mates do with their wives. They just blame me. So you can use me as blame it on Chris.
So we'll move on to the Miami Dolphins coming into town. Selfishly, I'm hoping it's a little bit cold and they have to deal with it since we get to go down there and deal with the heat all the time. In week 9, it may be a little chilly. They've retooled their team, put all the pressure on Tua Tagovailoa to succeed or not succeed. And to me, at this point in the season, they will know whether Tua is the man or not. I'm wondering, I don't know their cap situation, but I'm wondering if that is a sleeper spot for Jimmy G to wind up because of Mike McDaniels and their relationship together. If they decide, by the trade deadline that Tua is not the guy and they want to move on from him and maybe trade for Jimmy or however they want to do it. But their offseason moves have been great. But I do believe that the Bears win this game. I can't point exactly to where other than quarterback play. Exactly, KB. Quarterback play will be the biggest thing in this. I mean, they even tried to show a little hype video the Dolphins did, and it was an underthrow. Tua underthrew Tyreek Hill. He had to turn around and stop to make the catch on their hype video. So I think that the Bears win this game because of that. It might be, it could be a close or it could be a high scoring affair, depending on how our defense looks this year with the retool, bringing in secondary help and guys on the D line, etc. It could be like a 38-35 type game, honestly, depending on how we look and how they look. But I think the Bears have just enough to win this game. And, that's my thoughts. Go ahead, KB. What you got?
I also had us winning this game, and it's squarely because of quarterback play. I feel like in this game, we have the better quarterback. I can give a damn if they have the better wide receiver core. I can give a damn that they have the fastest wide receiver core. If you can't throw the ball deep because you don't have the arm strength, that neutralizes an aspect of what you're really good at. So that tells me that what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to throw these short routes. You're going to have to throw these screen routes. You're going to have to do all the shit that a cover 2 defense is technically supposed to be able to take away. I'm just not sold on Tua. As great as he was in Alabama, as great as he was supposed to be coming out, I do not believe that he is enough to beat us, even with the weapons that he has. I do not stand on this proponent that you give a bad quarterback good weapons and that he's supposed to be amazing or supposed to be able to be just league average. Because we've seen people with good weapons and just not be good. Like I said, at this point, I don't trust Tua. I feel like I said, I'm going off again what I said. I feel like our offense is going to take off. I feel like we win this game. They're coming to Chicago. They're playing on this field, a field that's been notorious to take away speed from people. So I'm going with Bears on this one.
Yeah. I think the situation here with Miami, it's funny because I'm passionate about all the games. There's a game I'm passionate about. I have kind of a little bit of a cult following of Dolphins Twitter that follow me, and I go back and forth with them on this game. To me, I hate to say it, I don't want to dismiss them. They're very talented. On paper, they have a ton of talent. They've added legitimate names from Tyreek Hill to Teron Armstead. They've retained some good players like Emmanuel Ogbah. I get all that. I just have to say, though, like at the end of the day, week 9, I doubt weather's going to be ideal in Chicago. we'll see what happens. I'm not telling you it's going to be some snowed out game, but the reality is Tua is a guy that lacks arm strength and arm talent. And there's a reality here that he's accurate. He's got a trigger quick release, but he works best in ideal scenarios. And I just don't think Chicago ever really gives you ideal weather. And then you start thinking about what they're doing. I'll give you kind of the quick rundown. I think that what they're hoping to do with this offense is Tua can get a ball out there with enough time, and it'll flutter and it'll float. But the reality is this is the same Lamar Jackson thing. Now, Lamar Jackson has a much bigger arm, and that's holds another story where I actually think Lamar Jackson may be a Dolphin next year. We'll talk about that different day. But they're going to try to run the ball and then open you up to where you bring a safety down, and then we're hoping to get Tyreek Hill open on an alert, and then Tua floats one out there. And even if Tyreek Hill has to come back to it, he's fast enough to do that and get upfield for a touchdown. If they can stop the run and you put the game on Tua's hands in an unideal scenario where the weather's not great, they're going to sit there and try to run mesh and throw screens and everything like that. But again, we're talking about Eberflus's defense. This is a team that's going to play press man, cover one. They're going to play a lot of cover two and say, okay, you want to run mesh, that's fine. But when we're playing in your hip pocket the whole way across the field, how are you going to throw that in inclement weather? And I don't think that this is a game that Miami's going to win. That's not to say it's going to be a blowout, but I have the Bears winning 28-21.
Yeah.
I mean, I see this as a win for the Bears. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me with two of that. By the time they got to the playing the Bears, that they might be in a bit of a quarterback quandrum and having a replacement playing for him. But yeah, I don't know why. I just feel like the Bears are going to win this. I think the weather will have a lot to do with it if the field's pretty crap. But yeah, I think this will be a good win for the Bears.
All righty, we'll just move right along to a prime time game. Not really, but Don Burr, if you're in the chat, brother man, we take on your Lions. Y'all come to town week 10, late in the season.
We don't even have to get into this. Dub. Just keep moving. Dub.
Dun, 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 dun.
I want to say real quick, like, hey, Don Bear, just take a look at how Jameson Williams looks in this photo.
He's pissed. Okay.
Miserable.
He was like, I didn't even take a visit for this goddamn team, and they drafted me.
Everybody's
goddamn trash ass team.
Everybody's happy in this photo with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson. Jameson Williams, like, what the fuck did I do to get put in this situation?
Jameson Williams done called Calvin like, bro, how do I fucking get out? How? Yeah. Please tell me.
Jameson Williams going on IR in practice. You hear me? He says, you know what? Nah, I think I rolled my ankle. I can't run. I can't even walk. You're walking now.
What had happened was but no, all jokes aside, Don, I like what the Lions have done this offseason. You know I love me some Josh Paschal. Obviously, I'm biased. I love Aiden Hutchinson. I like Jameson Williams if he can see the field. He does look fucking pissed to be in Detroit. Maybe that's just because he thought he was drafted lower than he should have been or something. I don't know. But I honestly think this is going to be a close game. And by then by week 10 we should see some dividends from the Lions draft picks and our draft picks. We'll see what they look like at this point in the season. I do have the Bears winning, but I do think it's closer than most think. I mean, hell, we beat the Lions last year when we weren't even trying on Thanksgiving. We were literally trying to lose, and we still beat them with a last-second field goal. So to me, I just think the Bears are better talent-wise than the Lions. And Don, I know you're not going to agree with me on that, and obviously it's coming from a biased perspective of a Bears fan, but I think the Bears win this game like, I don't know, 21-17 or something. I do not believe in Jared Goff. I do not think he's good. I do believe that he succeeded under Sean McVay, one of the best coaches in the league. But since leaving Sean McVay, I have seen nothing that
trash.
I have seen nothing that can give me any confidence in Jared Goff. And I know you're a Lions fan, Don, so you're gonna defend him tooth and nail. But I really don't see what you've seen out of him.
Stop! Don't give Don no props right now, because this man would be the same motherfucker that had Don Orlovsky at goddamn quarterback and acting like they gonna win 15 goddamn games. So nothing Don says, I believe. I don't believe Detroit will ever be anything but a fourth place team. They will never be out of the cellar. Y'all have been trash since they have been in the NFL. And y'all have ruined the careers of two of the greatest Hall of Famers to ever have played a game in Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. I do not want to hear shit out of them until they make the playoffs again. Until you can at least be in third place in the NFC North. I do not want to hear a word out of Detroit Lions fans' mouth, because y'all have not done shit. Y'all have not done shit in almost a decade. So let's be real, Don. Let's be real, Don.
KB, I love KB drinking. I love the KB drinking guy. But yeah, I agree with everything. I mean, I think it'd be like the end of the world day, when I'd actually sit there and put Detroit as favourites. Sorry, Donny boy. I think that's a win for the Bears.
This guy, he says, poor guys will be hiding. So here's the deal, Don Burr. If week 10 you guys come to Soldier Field and beat us, I am extending an invitation for you to stop hiding behind a Lions hat as your profile picture. Come on the Barfly Tailgate Show. Tell us why we were wrong, and let us know what's up. So you want to talk about hiding? You're a Lions cap in your profile picture. So if y'all win, come on the show, and I will bow down and allow you to take over the AC show. It will be the Don Burr show for one Sunday. That is all you will get from me.
Like I said, I found out Don Burr was a real person when he called in the Chicago Bears now. All right, the Chat Sports channel. If y'all haven't followed them, man, I'm giving free plugs because I like their content. Go check out Chat Sports, the Chicago Bears channel. Harrison Graham does a fantastic job. That being said.
Yeah, but KB, we showed it. It did have that sort of robotic voice, what they use, you know what I mean? When it's supposed to be like a cyborg or something like that. Right. So, if he sounds genuine.
He's a black dude. I give him, he's definitely a black dude. I heard his voice. I said it was because Harrison was just like, what the fuck? He was like, you're real? Like, yeah.
KB, you could say that. I couldn't say that, man. You know what I mean? It's only you could say that.
Look, that's why I'm here. I'm here to say the shit y'all can't say. But like I said, Don, if y'all beat us week 10, brother, free, you DM me. I'll get you on. I'll send you the link for you to come on the show with us, brother. If you beat us in week 10 in Chicago, free pass to come in and talk all the shit you want to talk, bro. I am begging you to do it just because I want to see your fucking face while you do it.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead, Jordan.
No, you're good. I love this because, I mean, Don Bear, the Secret Bears fan, is always here. We're going to go at him today. And this is a situation now where, I respect the way that they're building the team in Detroit. I think they're doing it the right way. That being said, I'm never going to give you guys credit until you earn it. It's the same thing. Like, I'm trying to be fair. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Bears are going to beat the Packers until they prove it.
Facts.
Just in the same way that the Bears are little brother to the Packers, you guys are little brother to the Bears, the Vikings consistently. You are the cellar. you are the trash at the bottom of the barrel. Like, this is the worst, one of the worst franchises in the league. And it doesn't matter who you bring in. You can have Matt Stafford. It only took him 1 year to win a Super Bowl once he got out of Detroit.
Facts.
Like, you can't even retain Calvin Johnson. It's awful. So as much as I appreciate what they're trying to build there, until you show me otherwise, and you and I both know, Don, the reality is it's not this year. As long as Goff is your quarterback, you're not going anywhere. I mean, this is the guy that somehow fumbled a ball into Bilal Nichols' hands last year at Soldier Field. So I'm not worried about this team. I think they have a good defensive line. I think their secondary will be okay. Akuda's coming back. They brought in Deshaun Elliott, a few other players. all said, I still think Eberflus plays Goff in a way that Goff can't beat out this defense. And I think Justin Fields just runs the train on this defense the same way that he did last year. Here's the thing, Dodd. I'm going to end with this. You saw the Nagy-led offense whip out maybe 2 or 3 play-action passes. What happens when it's a real competent offense and Justin Fields gets to roll out on boots and nakeds and then is just hitting Velus Jones or Darnell Mooney with those moon balls over the shoulder into the bucket?
And make it even better. Make it over the first round pick. That's a bust.
It's gonna be nasty. Like I got this game 31 to like 14. It's not gonna be close. These are the Lions. You cellar dwell. You hang out at the bottom. When that changes, and we can talk.
Hey, I'm not even gonna give them the bottom of the barrel. They don't you know we're like they rains and it gets in your trash, and you get the little water underneath the trash. That's the Lions, all right? Y'all are trash water. That's what y'all are.
The Lions are old cheese and hot garbage.
Facts.
That's what they are.
All right, let's move on now. We've trashed the Lions enough. We got another one down there and whatever. But we'll move on to Atlanta. We travel on the road to Atlanta. Well, they got Marcus Mariota, or we might see Desmond Ridder by then. Selfishly, I'm hoping we do because I want to see what Desmond Ridder can do in the league. The Falcons have a lot of weapons. I'm not sure I believe in their coaching staff. I damn sure don't believe in Mariota because he was given the keys in Tennessee and couldn't get it done. I think the Bears get another W here, and I think it really just comes down to where we're at versus where they're at. They grabbed Drake Jackson or
Drake London.
Yeah, that one. They grabbed him in the first round to have a big body receiver for them to throw to. But I think we kind of can cancel him out with either one of our corners. And I think the Bears win. It might be a defensive game, like a 17-14, 14-10 type game. But I think the Bears win this game at Atlanta on the road.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I looked at. I don't trust Mariota. I think you look at a point, like you said, by week 11, we might be seeing Desmond Ridder under center. You lose Calvin Ridley for a year. You got Kyle Pitts, who's an ultimate Swiss cheese weapon. The kid is amazing. He can be Vernon Davis 2.0, but you know what I'm saying, but better. But there's just not enough. Yeah, AJ Terrell is shut down. The kid is special.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a team I just see, and even my brother would tell you, he's a Falcons fan through and through. They just do not have enough. He knows that this is a rebuild. He knows that they're starting from ground zero and going to start to build up. Atlanta might be a team that in 2 or 3 years might be leading the NFC South, but this is not they're not at that point yet. I see the Bears going to Chicago, and I see us handling the Falcons easily. This is one of the ones I don't see that's going to be close.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, this game is another one I plan on being at. I hear Atlanta's great downtown, so I'm excited for that. But this is a game that I think people are sleeping on the Falcons. That's not to say that the Bears are gonna lose to them, but I love what the Atlanta Bears, led by Terry Fontenot and Ryan Pace, are doing with some of the old cast-offs of the Bears, and that's a joke. But when you actually consider what this offense is building, I love Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder was my QB1 in this class. I think he has a lot of room for growth. I think he's not perfect, but here's the thing, like, people always knocked his accuracy, and I don't think it's as big of a deal as many people said, but Mariota's got some real accuracy issues too. And here's the beautiful thing that you're seeing. With this team, they drafted Drake London, big, tall ball winner. They have Cordero Patterson, 6'2", 6'3", ultra versatile, can play inside, outside running back. They just traded for Brian Edwards, a perimeter receiver. They also signed Auden Tate, a 6'5" guy. All of them are towers of players. And the idea is hey, our quarterbacks can be a little inaccurate, but as long as you can go up there and be acrobatic and stretch out and secure a ball, you don't have to be perfect. We don't have to have the quarterback put the ball right into your chest, right into the bucket. So I think that I like Arthur Smith as an offensive play caller. I think that they're going to cause some surprise fits for a lot of games this year and teams this year because of that inside-outside versatility where Pitts can play inside-outside. Drake London can be a power slot, move inside-outside. Auden Tate and Brian Edwards can be those speedsters on the outside. I just think that they have a lot of talent there that'll surprise people. That being said, I also, you have certain favorites, AC. To me, one of my favorite defensive coordinators in the league is Dean Pease. And I think Dean Pease got dealt a raw deal with a lot of players that weren't quite what he was looking for, weren't great in talent. And no, they're not fixed. They're going to be a bottom team. But I think that they have some players there, whether it be A.J. Terrell, Grady Jarrett, Arnold Ebiketie that comes in and provides some real juice off the edge for them. So I think this game is a lot more competitive than people think. That being said, I still have the Bears winning this game, probably a 24 to 14 type game. I don't think Desmond Ridder all of a sudden is producing all-star games, but I think he can get the ball into to Drake London, Sands, or Auden Tate, Brian Edwards, Cordero Patterson, and I think it'll be a fun game.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Jordan. I think this will be a Bears win. I think it'll be quite a close game, but I just feel like we're just a little bit further down the line with our offense. So yeah, I see this as a win. But I don't think either side. I don't think it'd be a big margin between the two sides at all. I think we're just slightly ahead of them. But yeah, a Bears win for me, fellas.
All right, and we'll move on to Week 12 here. We go back up to New York and we play the New York Jets, who absolutely killed the draft. In my opinion, they got the best corner in the draft, the best wide receiver in the draft, and one of the best pass rushers in the draft there in the first round. Now, you could say they had 3 first-round picks. Of course, they hit, but we've seen other teams have 3 first-round picks and not hit. I do believe the Jets did right. I love Robert Saleh, the head coach they've got up there, and I think the Bears go up there and lose to the New York Jets. I know this is this might be a hot take, but I really like what the Jets have built. And I think they're just a little bit ahead of us right now. We'll see what Zach Wilson ends up being, but I liked him coming out. I thought Justin Fields was better, but I did like Zach Wilson as well. I think the Jets win this game at New York, and it's kind of a letdown game for the Bears. It'll be a close one, I do believe. 20. I keep saying 24, but man, it's a lot of 24-point games. It might be a close one, a 28-24 type game, but I do have the New York Jets beating the Chicago Bears that week.
I can't go with the win. I can't go with a loss to the Jets, man. I just can't. No, I got us winning this game. I don't think that that Josh Wilson is going to be enough. I don't. Like I said, I got a theme this year, and it's all built off whether or not their quarterback is going to be good enough. And I don't believe that the Jets have the quarterback to do well enough to beat us. So I feel that Justin Fields comes into this game, and he definitely takes it personal that this man was basically drafted above him and was pretty much preached that he was better. So, I got us going into New York just to keep things in quick in the name of time. I got us going to New York and beating the Jets.
Yeah, I'll try to be quick here. I got the Bears. This is a very good toss-up game. I'm not too sure that I believe strongly one way or the other. I think the Jets have done a lot of good things. I will say, though, that at the end of the day, I have to be fair and consistent. If I'm going to sit there and trash the Detroit Lions and these other cellar dweller teams and say, you got to prove it before I'm going to just give you wins, I feel very much the same way here. The Jets and the Jaguars, the Lions, they always have good off seasons. And for some reason, they're always picking in the top 5 the next year. So I see a situation here where I got to give a lot of credit to the Jets. I think they're in year 2 of a system. They actually have a quarterback support staff around Zach Wilson that they didn't have last year. Their quarterback coach died tragically and a bunch of other stuff. I don't think a lot of fans realize the turmoil that Zach Wilson had to go through. I'm a little bit of a Zach Wilson apologist. I think this will be a good game. I think it's going to be tooth and nail fighting. I'm going to go with the Bears and this is one where I see it going either way, but obviously I'm going to have navy and orange glasses here. I have the Bears winning the game 21-17.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm exactly the same, Jordan. I think the Bears will win this game. I just think our quarterback's better than theirs. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. But I don't think it'll be a flashy game at all. But I do think we've just got like a little bit more quality on offense. So, yeah, a Bears win for me.
All righty, and we'll just continue moving on here. We've got the second matchup with the Packers coming to town, a 1 o'clock kickoff Eastern time against our Chicago Bears. And I had us pulling the upset in week 2, but I think by week 13, the Packers have their team chemistry correct, and they come into Soldier Field and they win a hard-fought game. We might see Justin Fields, I love the guy, but we might see like a turnover in the final 2 minutes to give the Packers that last possession they need to beat our Bears in this game. So I've got the Bears losing this game at home to the Packers.
All right, man. I see you with the early season dub. Understand? I feel everything that you were saying, but like my boy Jordan said, man, I until I see us beat the Packers consistently, man, I can't not say that I don't believe they'll beat us. So whether or not I really want the shit to happen or not, it's just hard to pick against the Packers in this. So I got the Packers still winning this game. They're going to sweep us more than likely. So yeah, I got the Packers winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's relatively much the same of what I said, except just more evolved. If there's a game that I think that if the Bears are going to beat the Packers, it's going to be early on in the season when it's early. Aaron Rodgers hasn't developed a true chemistry with his receivers. The game plan isn't fully fleshed out. This is just going to be an evolved case of I had them losing in week 2. This is going to be worse. This is going to be Christian Watson getting on a better page with Aaron Rodgers, a better chord. Amari Rodgers filling into his role as that slot receiver, that new Randall Cobb. We'll see what happens with Sammy Watkins and Alan Lazard, but defenses tend to get better as the year goes on. I know they start out hot, but the reality is those defenses rely on chemistry too. All of a sudden, the secondary starts gelling, understanding the calls, who's taking what responsibilities. That front seven is going to be nasty with Devontae Wyatt. I don't think this is a close game. I think the Packers end up probably beating the Bears here, 35-14 type game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you, Jordan. I just don't think we've got the quality yet to beat the Packers. I know it absolutely pains me to say it, but I think they're going to get a sweep on us this year. But give it another couple of years, I think it could be the other way around. So that's where I'm looking at it. But as long as we don't get hammered or we make really, stupid mistakes, then, that'll be, as long as see improvement against the Packers. But no, unfortunately, I think they're going to win.
Yeah. And then week 14 is our bye week. And then the week after that, the Philadelphia Eagles come to town. And this is a team, I love what they've done this offseason.
Adding A.J. Brown is huge, bro.
Right. They add A.J. Brown. They did a damn good job in the draft getting Jordan Davis and guys like that. They've still got Fletcher Cox. You talk about our offensive line struggling. This one is, and it's right up the middle to me. It's going to be difficult to cover those guys. I think this one honestly could get ugly. And I think the Bears lose this game like a 35-20 or something like that. I really don't think it's a close game. I just think the Eagles are a different place than us. I love Jalen Hurts, and they've put a lot of pressure on him to be the man by going out and getting him weapons. I like what the Eagles have done building that team, and I just don't think we're there yet in this matchup.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you on this one, man. At first, I was kind of leaning towards, hey, the Bears will win this because maybe Jalen Hurts isn't there. They have so much, man. They have so much. This is going to be a tough game to come out of. Come into, especially with that loss that I'm guessing that we'll have to the Packers. So, yeah, I'll give the Eagles the nod on this one, just for what I'm saying. We can't really go with weather on this one because Philly is they play in the same weather that we play in damn near.
Right.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll give Philly the nod on this. Yeah, their corners are suspect. Their whole secondary is technically suspect. Now that I think about it, but I'll just give them a nod on this one. I think Hurts. I like Hurts. I felt like I wanted the Bears to draft him, and then Philly taking him just kind of threw the curveball and shocked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I feel like this year he starts to put it together. This year 3, he has no excuses. You have a legit number 1. You got a legit number 2. You got a solid tight end. You got a good running game. You got a decent O-line. Jalen Hurts should. If we put Justin Fields in that conversation, we will be expecting Justin Fields to be an MVP conversation. So I give the Eagles a nod on this one.
Yeah, I mean it's funny here because I hear all the positives about the Eagles and I don't want to dismiss them. There's a very few games on the schedule where I said early on, clear wins, clear losses, up in the air. The two I feel most up in the air on are the Jets and the Eagles. They're games that I could see going either way. But at the end of the day, you're saying if we had Justin Fields in that situation, KB be an MVP, and that's the beautiful thing is that we have Justin Fields, they don't.
Facts.
Jalen Hurts is not Justin Fields, and I like Jalen Hurts. I like a lot of what he can do, but he hasn't proven to be a great passing quarterback. They've had to really scheme that game around him by creating an option run game, running with Miles Sanders, trying to – and they use that offensive line beautifully. I don't have a lot of negative to say about them. Jordan Davis is going to be a handful up in the front for Lucas Patrick. Nakobe Dean is going to be running around ideally. I think this is going to be an all-out, drag-out dogfight, but at the end of the day, I think Justin Fields and the Bears find a way to pull it out simply because I also think Matt Eberflus is going to do a great job forcing Jalen Hurts to beat him with his arm, and I'm not sure he can do that.
Yeah. I mean, this were another game for me where I originally put down as a Bears win, but I had sort of a little bit of a think about it and sort of went for an Eagles win. I just think their offense is just further down the road than we are. And I think they'll I don't think it'll be a very high scoring game, but I think the Eagles might just squeeze out just due to the fact that I just think their offense is like on a higher up level than what we are at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with all that. So we'll just continue moving on. Another disgusting game. I believe this one is Christmas Eve, if I'm not mistaken, or Christmas Day, something like that.
So, yeah.
So the NFL gave the Bills a Christmas present in allowing them to come play a Chicago Bears team that at this point, I believe we will be looking at the draft. And I think it gets ugly fast. I don't think we can keep up with Josh Allen or any of the weapons they have on offense. Now they've added Von Miller to their defense, and they went out and drafted Kyer Elam, one of my favorite corners, to put him on the other side of Tre'Davious White. I think this game gets ugly. I think it's ugly by halftime, to be completely honest. I think this could be like honestly, 42-14 Bills win. I do not think we have the talent to keep up with them, and it pains me to say it as a Bears fan. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this game. I'll watch them all. I'll watch them all. Don't get me wrong. But I do think this game is going to get ugly. I think Bills are Super Bowl or bust. And I think they're going to flex their muscles on us a little bit.
I gotta agree with you, man. But I don't think it's going to be the blowout that you believe. I think we'll play them a little tough. I don't think that when I'm saying we'll play them tough, I don't believe that we'll be in an earshot of winning. But I feel like we'll play them tough enough. Of course, I got the Bills winning this game. Josh Allen is a phenomenal talent. Their team lost nothing and gained, bro. They gained everything.
Yeah,
like it's what they say, the one saying about the half a dozen shit and whatever to the other half of it. I don't know. Trying to make some shit up in my head. I see it coming out. What I'm trying to say is that the Bills are my Super Bowl pick.
Yeah,
I feel like it has to be them in the Super Bowl this year. They'll probably bust our ass. We'll probably show enough that they'll say, "Oh my God, yeah, you tickled us." But we should have aimed for the head type shit. So I give the Bills this game. This to me, this is an easy dub for them. They're Super Bowl bound. So
Yeah, I think, to me, it's very interesting to see what Brandon Beane and the Bills have built. I mean, you want to talk about a team building philosophy. I think that they're some of the best in the ways that they've done it. And they've strategically tried to put certain money around players, Von Miller, securing draft picks like James Cook to be that receiving back out of the field. They've made these moves strategically in an effort to say, are these the final pieces that can push us over the finish line to win a Super Bowl? And I don't think it's going to be as ugly as you're saying, AC, but I don't think it's going to be particularly close. Ugly is that New England Patriots playoff game where they're just running spears the whole time and crossers, and single high can't keep up with them, and it's a nightmare. I think, again, Flus, this defense, we've seen it in Chicago before. They play tough. It's never an easy out. That being said, I don't think it'll be close. I think Justin Fields is going to have his own struggles with the same very, very similar defense with Leslie Frazier running the defense out there. They've lost a few defensive line pieces, which is why they've continuously stocked up on defensive line. They lost Mario Addison, Jerry Hughes, but they have AJ Epinesa. They have Greg Rousseau, other players coming in. Ed Oliver's still there. So I think this is a game where the Bears would be lucky to score 14, and I think Buffalo's rolling around 28-31.
Yeah. I mean, this is the other game, really. When I was looking down at the schedule, I thought, we could get a really good kicking in this game. It could be a real lopsided game. I just think Buffalo are like at a completely different level to where the Bears are at the moment. It's like KB said, they're sort of Super Bowl or bust this year. Yeah. So, I'm hoping that, we sort of, we sort of play well and show. So for me, I always want to see improvements in every game. So, but I can't see us handling the Buffalo Bills at all. I see them beating us at quite a large margin.
Yeah, I like what you said there, Chris. Take a good kicking, I think is how you put it. That's definitely
that's what we say over here, mate. Yeah, take a good kicking.
That's some good across the pond slang there.
There you go.
But yeah, I think it'll be ugly. But it is what it is because we got basically a bye the next week. We go on the road to the Detroit Lions.
Another dub. Let's be real.
Who at this point in the season, both teams will be looking at the offseason and looking at the draft. To be completely honest, the Lions might have a top 5 pick, and looking at what quarterback they're going to bring in to fix their offense at that point, because Jared, as I said before, Jared Goff ain't it, brother. I know you love him, Don Burr, and you come into the chat every week and you talk shit about our quarterback because he hasn't done anything, but your quarterback has done absolutely nothing since he went to Detroit. It really helps when you have a Hall of Fame coach in Sean McVay in LA that you do not have with Dan Campbell. The team plays hard for him, but we haven't seen dubs on the field yet. I think this is another win for the Chicago Bears, and it might be one of those where Bears fans are upset because we heard our draft pick. But I want to win every game we play, and I think we do win this game late in the season at Detroit.
So going off of what I've been saying, this Bears team might be pushing for playoffs. Yeah, it sounds crazy. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm looking at something along the lines of a 10-7 or 11-6 type season. That can be the ceiling for us. The floor could be a 6-11, but what I'm looking at right now, man, yeah, we beat the Lions. I'm not even there. Be no world, no universe. I don't care if you go through the multiverse of madness and Ryan is evil in 15 of the universes. I will never sit here with a straight face and tell you I picked the Detroit Lions to beat the Chicago Bears, because that should have never happened. So me picking the line. Me picking the Bears in this game, of course. But absolutely, this schedule was not tough at all. If we were 8-8 last year and we were trash, yeah, this is a dub. I'm sorry, this is the dub. We're at this point we're looking at a playoff berth. We're sniffing it at this point. So
yeah, it's KB slaying Don, and I love it because I got to be honest here. Like, Don, this is a message for you. I meant it. I said I respect what they're trying to build, but I'll never forget when I'm watching the draft coverage every year the last 2 years, and you got Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. They're slapping tables and go woohoo because they drafted Aiden Hutchinson or Penei Sewell, and then you get Sheila Ford Hamp on the phone. Here, let me hand the phone over to our owner, Sheila. Hi, Aiden. Hi, Penei. It's one pride here. You gonna help us turn this ship around? You gonna help us turn this ship around? Oh, wait, hold on. You guys are still 4th place every year. Like, Don, I need you to realize your role. I need you to sit here. You couldn't sniff Chicago Bears jockstrap every year, Don.
Aldo,
You guys are
Aldo, we got to pull this audio.
We're going to come into Ford Field and make sure Sheila knows. This ship is still stuck in the basement. It's still shipwrecked. No ship is being turned around. It's not one pride. It's one failure. It's one consistent 4th place team. The Lions are trash. I'm done. They win. Bears are winning, okay? It's going to be Justin Fields bombs all day. We're talking 28-10. Like, it's not going to be close.
I agree, Jordan. That was just awesome, Jordan. I just completely agree with everything you said, and I just put this down as a Bears win because it's the Lions and we always beat you, mate. But yeah, I don't see the Lions. No, let's just say a Bears win. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, kind of tough to follow Jordan there.
It is a bit, really. You know what I mean?
Stole the show on that one.
I didn't know if I had to try and do like a song and dance to try and come after Jordan after that.
Well, it's true, guys. You guys have seen it every year. Brad Holmes is slapping tables, going wild, and Sheila, one pride. You gonna help us turn this shit around.
And I just want Don to realize, bro, y'all aren't within 25 games of the fucking Bears, bro. The all-time series 104-75 and 5 ties. Bro, stop it, bro. We don't want to hear it. Y'all are bottom 4 every year. Y'all are picking in the top 10 every year. It's for a reason.
Yeah.
Y'all have been rebuilding since the NFL has started. Just saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat saying there's a lot of people in the chat saying we're going in on Don. Hey, it's all fun and games. I know these other guys love you, Don. I gotta be honest. I don't really hate anybody, but I take pride and joy going in on you here. Taking you to task because you are a troll. You provide no real substance to anything. Detroit versus everybody. We win in the North. You can't even get to 3rd place. Like, I'm done. I'm done, Don. Like, you want to be here, go for it. But no, I'm not your fan. I'm not your friend. I'm gonna go in on you every time I can. Thank you.
Well, speaking of 3rd place, the final game of the season, the Vikings come to town, and this is going to be a difficult one. I mean, like I had said earlier, the Vikings have a loaded team.
They do.
We are at home finishing out the season. This is one of those, for me, a toss-up game. Having the home field advantage, as KB was saying, we could be looking at a playoff push. So this game could come down to, depending on what the Packers are able to do, this game could come down to whether you win and you're in or lose and go home and have a middle-of-the-round draft pick. It's really difficult for me to pick either way. But I'm going to be biased. I'm going to be a Bears fan. I say the Bears finish the season out strong with a dub against the Minnesota Vikings at home. It could come down to a last-second field goal or something screwy happening, Kirk Cousins turning the ball over. I'd love to see Eddie Jackson get back on track and maybe take one to the house to win this ball game. But I've got the Bears beating the Vikings in Week 18, the end of a long, long season. I haven't kept up with my wins, losses, so I'm not sure where we're at this point. Maybe I'll go back and listen and take some notes or something, and maybe I'll come back on our next Barfly Tailgate show, and I'll have our predicted record for the Bears, and we'll continue from there. See who's got the best bet.
All right, man. See, this is where I lead into us sniffing the playoffs and me kind of quelling a lot of what fans feel about this wide receiver core and all of this jazz, man. Because yes, I got us winning this game. Like I said, we're sniffing the playoff. The Vikings are coming to us. I think at this point, if the Bears are playing for something, we're going to see a different animal. You're going to start to see what Eberflus wants out of this team. Now, does that say that we get in? No, not saying that in the slightest. But this is also something I'm going to preach. We do not know how the Green Bay Packers are going to fare against other teams this year. We do not know how they're going to fare in the division. Yeah, we saw the trash Detroit Lions sneak a win in. The Vikings always play the Packers tough. And then whatever the Packers schedule is, I guarantee you they're going to be played tough by other teams. So, with all that being said, I say this about I'm going to say this because I know we're in the essence of time. But Ryan did a little bit of work, all right? Because I was bored. I get tired of people talking about the Bears offense and everything like this. Now, I'm gonna ask this question to y'all. When we get talked about the Bears offense, who do they say that our offense is going to mimic the most?
San Francisco.
Okay. Y zone run scheme. We're running the 49ers offense. Since 2017, the point where Shanahan is taking over, the 49ers offensive wide receivers have been 2017, Pierre Garçon, Marquise Goodwin, Trent Taylor, Kendrick Bourne, Aldrick Robinson, Victor Bolden. 2018, Garçon, Goodwin, Bourne, Pettis, Holden, Dunbar, Taylor, McCaffrey. 2019, you draft Debo. He has a fantastic year. He puts up 800 yards receiving, not 1,000. And I want to preface this. The 49ers have not had a 1,000-yard rusher since Shanahan has taken over. Debo, Emmanuel Sanders, Kendrick Bourne, Marquise Goodwin, Jordan Matthews, Dante Pettis, Richie James. 2020, Debo Samuel was hurt. You got Brandon Ayuk, who had a decent year, put up almost 800 yards. They had Matt Cole, Richie James, Kendrick Bourne, Matt Cole, River Cracraft, whatever. Like I said, Debo hurt. Jordan Matthews, Mohamed Sanu, Trent Taylor, Kevin White. Okay, we go into 2021. Debo Samuel, Ray McLeod, Marcus Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, Danny Gray, Keyshawn Johnson, Jawan Jennings, Malik Taylor, Austin Mack. I'm saying all of this to say this. This team has been 10-7, 6-10, 13-3, 4-12, 6-10. Has any wide receiver core that I have named been any better than what the Bears have right now? The 49ers have not had a legit number one wide receiver until the past year where Debo surpassed 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. George Kittle was the other under factor into this equation because he went for 1,300 yards one year and 1,050 the other year. When I say Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet are going to be your biggest pieces, the running game is going to be your biggest piece. Bears fans, I need y'all to chill. Just because we didn't go get Michael Gallup, we didn't go get my man that plays for Tampa Bay, all these big names. You don't need big names in this offense. You need people who are good at what they do. Separation. Byron Pringle, Bayless Jones Jr. They separate at an elite level. This is what you need. You need people who are big in the end zone. St. Brown, Cole Kmet. Hell, I'm on board with Dante Pettis. I have not fucking shied away in the least about how well I think Dante Pettis can what he can be in his offense. Because like I said, he's Chris Olave-esque. I'm not gonna say they're the same player. He's Chris Olave-esque. They're both body type wise, size wise, speed wise, right around the same. It's about how you use these players. So when you sit there and say, I see people say we have a bottom 5 wide receiver core, that's fine. But when you see this team has a possibility to go 10-7 or 11-6, that's the ceiling to me. That's you sniffing the playoffs. That's you being either first or second in the division. There's the chance to do all of that. It all hinges on how this team develops and these coaches coaching. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all get y'all time, because that's what I needed to say, because I did that research. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to see, because we praise Shanahan to the utmost in the NFL. He has not had a number 1 receiver until Deebo Samuel decided to be Deebo Samuel this year.
Well, if you want to, you can go ahead and hit your shout outs or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
We'll try to close this thing out because
shout
short on time here.
Yes, I am off the Incredible Hulk. I don't give a damn what y'all saying in the chat. It's not changing how I do things. It's not changing how I feel about things. I don't drink and I don't get impaired by it. It's not me. So what I'm saying, man, shout out to y'all fans. Shout out to everybody that shows love. Smash that like button, man. It helps in the YouTube algorithm, man. We're trying to get around for folks, man. We want people to see our content. That being said, I love y'all, man. Y'all know that to my heart, man. I text y'all. I love y'all. Aldo, you do a lot, man. We appreciate you. And man, check out everybody else on the Barroom Network, man. We talk White Sox, we talk Cubs. Yeah, the basketball season's over. We had a basketball channel, man. Check us out, man. We always have content for everybody that's always available, man. And I also give my shout outs to other networks, man. Like I said, I shouted out Harrison Graham and Chicago Sports Chat Now, wherever they shit is. He has phenomenal content. If you're looking for Bears content, man, and we don't have any out at the time, go check him out. He's putting out videos daily. And we also got other people on other networks, man. I'm not gonna get into because it is what it is. But love y'all, man. Smash the like button for us, man. I love my boys on here. Go ahead and get up out of here.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, Jordan, and then Chris, you can follow him, and I'll finish us off.
Absolutely. Barflies, thanks for joining. This is always a fantastic time. It's a great way to start, a new week. Sunday mornings is always my favorite part of the day. KB brought the fire. I love that last point. If we had more time, I'd talk more about it. Maybe we'll pick it up next show. I think it's a really salient point about the receivers in San Francisco. Hello, boss man, you're here. I appreciate you more than you know. Everything that you do for the channel. And KB really hit it on the head. If you're not following Barroom Network, hanging out, watching different shows, I got to be honest, I'm not even much else outside of fighting and football, but just even listening to crosstalk, or, hockey, baseball. They had Gabrielle Starr on this week. I'm learning a bunch about sports that I don't even really have an interest in, but that is the power of Aldo Gandia, the guy that puts together talent from around the world to talk about all things Chicago sports. And it's not even just limited to sports. It's science fiction. It's, Dan and Aldo bare their souls, which I had a great time with you, Aldo, this week talking. And it's been an utter joy. AC, C-Dub, Chris, KB, you guys are wonderful. You help me expand and understand my views on the game, and it's just always a wonderful time. And Barflies, you make this all possible. Please do us a favor. Like the video, share it, subscribe. I know it sounds like a hacky talk, but it helps the channel. It helps us grow. It helps. If you like the content, imagine who else isn't even aware of it that would love it as well. We want to make this a loving community of Bears fans that talk. And even Don Burr, I call you Don Bear because you're secretly a Bears fan. I don't love you. You're kind of like that redheaded stepchild, but you're part of the family here. So we appreciate you coming on. Just go like, subscribe, and we'll hopefully have you on the show soon. So that's my shout outs, and much love to all you Barflies. Bear down.
Cool. Yeah, I'd just like to say, shout out to you guys. It's like my favorite time of the week is when we get a chance to speak football. I think really that we should, I love KB drinking, so I think we should all do a show where we all just drink throughout the show. But I'll keep it short because I can feel like AC's wife's just going to pull him out a shot any minute. So, big shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody have a good week. Look after each other, respect each other, and I'll see you on the next show.
Absolutely. First and foremost, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us today. We always have a good time when we get together. KB having his Incredible Hulk this morning. You know he's having a good time. Chris has usually got them Coronas flowing, so he's having a good time. This might be a little early for Jordan to have a drink or two, maybe some mimosas in the future. Who knows?
Yeah,
It's always a mystery what's in the Bears 100.
Hey,
I'm going to say, yeah, it's probably straight whiskey or something.
But definitely bear down. Listen to the Ballroom Network. We got everything. We got Cubs talk. We got Sox talk. Even though my Cubs are struggling, we got Bulls talk when that season's going. We got hockey talk. Just like Jordan said, the science fiction. I think they just went over the Doctor Strange movie, which my wife is pumped about because that's her favorite in the Marvel universe. If you guys are into that, science fiction,
Fantastic movie.
Yeah, Dan and Aldo Bear Their Souls is always a fun listen. I got to listen the next day because they start so late, but I always go back and listen on Spotify. If you guys can give us a like, share, comment, all of the above, go on our Spotify, hit us with 5 stars, or if you're a iPhone listener, go to the pod app and leave us a rate and review, please. We surely do appreciate it. That will get the ballroom message out and hopefully we'll build this community that we've got going on at Barflies. But I was gonna say something and it completely slipped my mind. But definitely shout out to y'all, man. I love coming on here every week on the AC show and talking Bears. You know,
We had the backing singers.
Yeah. And Jordan, it's been a pleasure. You've been an excellent addition to the Barfly Tailgate show.
Yeah.
Chris, we brought you in last year, and you've continued to grow and build your on-air persona, I guess I could say. Just being yourself. You know what I'm saying?
You're just being really polite, aren't you, really?
Man, I mean, I love coming on talking with you guys. You know what I mean? I love talking Bears.
Yeah,
and I love talking Bears with people who are a little bit knowledgeable. A lot of times I'll talk to Bears fans and they don't know much about the draft class. They don't know much about who's coming out and stuff. I feel like we have good knowledge of who we're looking at and what's going on the field, not just like, I like football or whatever. I remember what I was going to say now. My son started football. He's been doing conditioning the past week, and he's got another conditioning the week after. And then he's got football camps the week after that. He's loving it. He's telling me he comes off the field every day. He's like, football is so much fun, Dad. And I'm like, kid, I've been trying to get you to play for 5 years, and you've been telling me no every year. You could have been doing this, but he's loving football, and I'm loving that he's loving football. So shout out to my son Scotty for putting in the work in the off season. And
good man.
Next week, I don't know if Brother Gaines is still in the chat or not. I am going to Washington, D.C. next weekend, and if he is there, I'm going to have to hit him up and see if we can go out and have a drink at some point. I've already bought Cubs tickets for my vacation in June. We're going up there for Father's Day, so
you know what? I might have to intercept you and go up there with you, man.
Hey, brother, Wrigley Field, man, you gotta experience it at least once. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going up there for that for Father's Day, and really excited about that. But I'm not sure when we'll have another Barfly Tailgate show because I think they have a camp this week or something. But, so we might hop on next week. I'm not sure yet. We'll probably figure it out around Thursday or something. I'll shoot you guys a text and let you know.
All right.
But definitely appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out with us this morning. But I have to get off here before I get yanked by a umbrella. So
tell the wife I said, hey,
I will, KB, brother. So I'll hit this closing and we'll get on out of here. Bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down, mate.